Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the KMN 1971 back with another comic book haul, my second annual Super Bowl Sunday edition. Just as anxious and paranoid as last year, but it's a great problem, and well, rather, it's a great privilege to have. So, go Patriots! So, without any further ado, let's kick it off. The usual shtick with this haul: a little mix of modern, well, rather current modern comics, copper, bronze, and a little dash of silver. So let's get it on. Starting off, it's been a long time since I've actually started a haul off with a couple of connecting covers, and here we have the connecting variant covers to Avengers 675 and 676, which are the first two parts of the Avengers No Surrender storyline, which will be running weekly in the Avengers title, starting with issue 675, and I believe running all the way up until Avengers 690. And let me just say, on a personal note, this is a great storyline. It actually lives up to the hype. I heard a little bit of hype about this storyline at a couple of my LCSs, as well as on a couple of the Google Plus pages, so I decided to check it out, and I really enjoyed it. It has that old school Avengers feel to it while incorporating a newer school cast of characters. Some characters that I'm not really familiar with as Avengers, or even some characters that I am familiar with, but I don't necessarily associate them with the Avengers. But nonetheless, I've really been enjoying this storyline, and it's been pretty hot as of lately too. So if you haven't been into the Avengers for a long time, I would suggest checking these out. So, and I guess there's also two other parts of this connecting cover. So I'll have to, for issues 677 and 678, so I'll have to hunt those down. So, very cool. I guess these are 1 in 25 variants. I've also been picking up standard covers, and Max Brooks has just been killing it on them. So here's Avengers 675. Sorry about the glare, but it is a little bit of it's one of those 3D covers. Here's 676, which this book has generated a little bit of heat to it. It shows it contains the debut of this character. Her name is Voyager, and at this point, as readers, without giving away too much, we don't know if she's really a heroine or a villain or a retcon. But for some reason or another, this book has generated a lot of buzz, and I want to say it's probably, I don't know, between $10-15, I guess. Not crazy, but it's sold out everywhere in my area, so if you see this book anywhere, I would definitely pick it up. Avengers 676. Here's 677. And 678. As I said before, highly, highly recommended. Get on with the current books. Justice League of America number 23. You know I'd have to slip one DCB cover in there, right? So this one is the Doug Mahnke B cover for Justice League of America number 23, and the significance of this book is that it contains the debut of Promethea from America's Best Comics. Well, rather, Promethea's mainstream DC Universe debut. So, I really like how DC is dusting off a lot of the old Alan Moore toys, whether it be Promethea or the Watchmen, or soon to be Tom Strong. I love all of that. So as long as it's done well, I'm definitely all for it. And why wouldn't DC, if it's done well, why wouldn't DC want to polish off those properties? Those are creative high points in their publishing history. So why wouldn't you want to embrace that? So Justice League of America number 23. And a little late to the party on this one. Old Man Logan number 31. And this contains the first appearance of the Scarlet Samurai, whom I initially didn't have any interest in, but once I found out what her secret identity was, I had to check it out, being a longtime Wolverine fan. And I might have to check out the rest of the storyline now, too. Alright, now, on to the back issues. We have Wonder Woman, number 40 from the New 52 volume, and this is the 300 homage movie cover. When DC initially came out with that movie cover homage month, The only two that I was really interested in was this one and the Batgirl Purple Rain cover, which I will eventually hunt down like I did this one at a decent price. But I would be on the lookout for this, to be honest. It's a sweet cover. It's done by the legendary Bill Sienkiewicz, and I could see this cover accruing in price over the course of time. And even if it doesn't, the cover is so epic, man, I had to have it in my collection. Avengers Arena #1, no big deal, but the only reason I picked this up, ever since the Logan movie, I've been a big X-23 fan, so I figured why not. And it was cheap. Action Comics number 904, and this is the last issue of Volume 1 of Action Comics. I'm still on the fence if I want to get the, what is it, like a $30 hardcover of Action Comics 1000, but I probably will, and probably regret it a year later when you can buy it for like half a quarter of the price. But it's just a piece of comic book history that I want, kind of like this. So last issue of Action Comics 904, and I want to say this is the last issue that I needed to complete my run of last issues of all the DC long-running series that began either in the Golden Age or Silver Age. So really happy about that. Picked up my second copy of in high grade too, of Action Comics 894, which contains an early appearance of Death in the mainstream DC universe, and it also sports this sweet David Finch Death cover. So for $1, couldn't leave it there. Batman Gotham Adventures #1. Just another Batman debut issue that I didn't have. It's one of those books that's based on our cartoon, so I'm assuming a lower print run, and kind of along the lines of that Detective Comics variant that I showcased in my video last time around. I love covers that incorporate the Batman's Rogues Gallery, and this is an animated version of it, so I thought it was neat. Ah, yes. Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1, number 13. Is this the first appearance of the Cosmic Ghost Rider? I don't know. Don't really care either, but it's a cheap spec book. I've noticed that these have been drying up on eBay. They're now going for between that $10, $15 range, where it used to be $1 book at best. But I totally missed out on the Cosmic Ghost Rider, or the Cosmic Punisher Ghost Rider debut in Thanos. So, I was able to pick this up in one of my LCSs, high grade, for $5. So, why not? It was a pretty cool deal. Dark Horse Presents, number 36. Probably only in fine condition. It has some little discoloration spots right there. But the book I was really interested in the set was this cover for number 36. And this came in as, well, this is the first Aliens vs. Predator in comics. So, this is another book that wasn't high on my list, but it was on my list. And when I came across it in a set for, well, both of these books combined were like $1.50 a piece. The set was $3 minus 20% off. So, really cool deal. At one of my LCSs, they have like 3 or 4 boxes, long boxes of just sets that have been there probably since like the 1990s. And they haven't changed any of the prices in them. I don't think many people go through those boxes. A lot of times there's comic books on top of those boxes. So, but I happen to see the top of this cover sticking out, so I pulled it out. $3 minus 20% for 2 of them. Why not? Oh, and this cover too is really high grade. So, just thought I'd add that. All right, how about some 1980s indie love? Space Ghost #1 from Comico Comics, done by Steve the Dude Rude. Can't really go wrong there. Or here, Sergio Aragonés, Gru the Wanderer #1 from Pacific Comics. This is the first time Gru had his own title, so pretty neat. Moving forward, to make my personal collection a better personal collection, anytime I run across any Dave Stevens whatsoever, I am snatching it up. So here's some Dave Stevens stuff that I had no idea about. Once again, Pacific Comics, Alien Worlds #2. incredible Dave Stevens cover, and it also contains Dave Stevens' interior artwork on the first story. Pretty sweet. But as much as I like that cover, I like this cover just a little bit more. Alien Worlds number 4. And check out that retro cover, man. That is awesome. Another great Dave Stevens cover. And while the interiors don't contain full Dave Stevens artwork, he does do heavy inks over the pencilers' pencils, I guess. And as soon as you open up the book, you know you're in for a Dave Stevens treat. So, which is always a great thing. Alright, always a sucker for an anniversary issue. So, Power Man and Iron Fist, number 100. I could not turn that away at a half-price sale for only $1.50. I would say it's in near mint, very fine minus shape, or very fine plus shape, rather. And I really dig that Ernie Chan cover, too. And another final issue. This is the final issue of Power Man and Iron Fist that I picked up at another shop. This one was $5. But last issue of the series, and it also contains the quote-unquote death of Danny Rand. So, sweet. DC Comics Presents Annual, number 3, featuring Superman and Shazam. Now, as many of you, well, as some of you may know, I'm a big Superman and Shazam fan. Anytime they team up or duke it out, I have to buy that comic. So, this was on my list anyway, but then I read on one of the Google Plus pages that there is a little speck of speculation on this book. I guess whoever's been cast as Dr. Sivana has been cast as General Sivana, and I guess the speculation goes is that they think that somehow he has harnessed some of the power of Shazam. And, well, I don't know. I guess that will make for a better antagonist on the big screen. We'll have to wait and see. But Gil Kane artwork, a Superman Shazam team up, I was all in. So if I would see this book out in the wild, I would pick it up. Let's dip into some Bronze Age goodness. Marvel Premiere number 49, and I believe this is both the first Falcon solo story as well as the first time that the Falcon had his own comic. Fantastic Four, number 209. And this is Exhibit B of why I should be in a comic book rehab, collecting first appearances of characters that I loathe. This contains the first appearance of Herbie the Robot, who ruined the Fantastic Four cartoon from my childhood. So, in comic book hell, in my opinion, there is a special room for Herbie the Robot and the Wonder Twins. But other than that, I mean, it's a decent Marvel Bronze Age comic, a Fantastic Four comic illustrated by John Byrne. Can't get much better than that. Herbie the Robot aside. Miss Marvel, number 9, the first appearance of Deathbird, longtime X-Men villain. So, being a longtime X-Men fan, had to pick this up. Miss Marvel number 20, and this is the debut of the black costume that Carol ended up wearing for a decade plus. So pretty cool. I ended up finding 2 high grade copies for $5 a piece of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventures number 1, which features the first appearance of Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady. So that's way too much nostalgia to leave behind for $10. So really happy to pick these 2 up. A little Batman Silver Age goodness. Batman number 203, 80-page giant. And it's a special issue featuring the secrets of the Batcave circa 1968. So, wow. I thought this was at least a very fine copy. The square bound spine is beautiful, but the only problem is there is one slight little spine tear right at the top of the cover right there, which I didn't even notice until even after I flipped through the book. When I was putting it in my light, in a my light, I noticed it. But still, even with that tear, it would probably make it a fine, maybe fine. Yeah, I'd say a definite solid fine, seeing that the rest of the book is in such high grade condition from 1968. Had to have it. And lately, I don't know what it is, but well, I do know what it is. For some reason, DC Comics, for the most part, their Silver Age doesn't hold up as much as Marvel Silver Age. The demand just isn't there. So, lately, especially when it comes to Superman Silver Age. So I've been finding a lot of higher grade Superman Silver Age in my area for like dirt cheap prices. Here we have Superman number 200, and this is probably very fine to very fine minus condition. $10. Superman number 200 for $10. Crazy. But love that cover. And this used to be in like, I used to have this giant hardcover back when I was a little kid of all Superman stories dating from the Golden Age all the way to like the 1980s. And I remember this cover being reprinted in that hardcover. So it's cool to finally own it now. The Avengers, number 96. And I keep chipping away at that Kree-Skrull War, so I think I own officially half of the storyline now, so I'm getting there. And the Kree-Skrull War, as anyone familiar with it, some issues were drawn by Neil Adams and some issues were drawn by John Buscema. This happens to be one of the issues that features a cover and interiors by Neil Adams. So any kind of Bronze Age Neil Adams is golden with me, especially Neil Adams on the Avengers. So very, very happy to pick this up. I would say this is a really high grade, but it does have like some kind of like stain on the bottom right, bottom back cover. So probably just a fine condition, but really happy to finally add it to the collection. And now for the one big book of the week that was resting up on top of my box this whole time. I am now summoning my inner chi to hopefully another Super Bowl victory. Here we have Marvel Premiere, number 15. Ooh, rough glare. Sorry about that. Marvel Premiere, number 15, in CGC 6.5, a book that has been on my list for quite some time. Once I picked up the Hero for Hire number 1, this jumped to the top of my list. So, very happy to pick this up. Probably about a year or so ago, I wasn't even, like, Iron Fist was probably on my C list, but through Netflix, believe it or not, and then through collecting and picking up the John Byrne Iron Fist series from the Bronze Age, I ended up becoming a fan of Iron Fist. So another one of those major Bronze Age characters, finally off of my list. I was shopping around for this for a while. I was looking on eBay because there were no copies in my area. And a lot of the books that were in fine condition, because a lot of these big boy books, this is where I tend to usually buy them, between a 5.5 to a 6.5. It has to be in that fine range. That's my cutoff point. If you're going to spend the money, I need to have at least a presentable copy. So a lot of the books that were advertised as fine, I didn't really know if they were fine. There was like a lot of staining on the covers, some chips. One issue that was listed as a fine was missing like the back corner cover. So some of the listings wouldn't list if the Marvel value stamp was intact or not. So I ended up just breaking down and spending like maybe $10 more, and ended up getting a slab copy. So really happy with this. I paid, what was it, $185 shipped, which isn't a great price, but it's not an unfair price either in this market for this book. At least I don't think so. So really happy to pick this one up. Hopefully it can give us enough chi for another Super Bowl victory. So that's all I have for this week. I will be back in another couple of weeks with either another haul or maybe another comic book collection spotlight video. I don't know. But either way, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, and as I said last year, go Patriots, please.